What's going on, y'all? This is Chris Saunders, aka CSProductions.29. You are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. Today we are going to check out another song by one of the GOATs within the country game, which is Johnny Cash. Is he technically country? I think he is, but I'm curious if he if he falls within a specific type of country or even isn't within that category. But we're going to check out the song called "The Man Comes Around" or "Man Comes Around" by Johnny Cash. So let's dive in. I'm excited for this one. I'm gonna try to have those listening ears on, and I have the lyrics in front of me. So let's check this one out.
And I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder. One of the four beasts saying, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, a white horse. There's a man.
I was gonna say, yeah, I've heard this song before. We're gonna enjoy this one. We're gonna enjoy this one. I've never sat down and listened to it, especially with the lyrics on, but I've heard this song before. I know this is a great song.
Going round taking names, and he decides who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. There'll be a golden ladder reaching down when the man comes around. The hairs on your arm will stand up at the terror in each sip and in each sup. Will you partake of that last offered cup, or disappear into the potter's ground when the man comes around? Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
So I'm going to pause here. This is an amazing song. I don't think I've actually listened to the song all the way. I think I may have. I don't know where I've heard it, but I know I've heard the opening verse or lyrics, as well as I think like the first one or two stanzas of the song. But yeah, no, this is really cool. So one, there's a lot of really cool things going on with it, the instrumentation of the song. For one, it sounds, I don't know this, but my guess is he's using a more flexible pick. For whatever reason, the sound with like the muted guitar strings sounds very similar to that of whenever I use a flexible pick. So I think that's one thing that kind of stands out to me. Then the way he's like muting the strings, palm muting as he's strumming, and then going back and forth between that and more of the open sounds. And then also the piano in the background, where it's like the doom, heavy far left on the bass clef as like the bass notes there, adding that instrumentation within the song, the walk downs, doom, doom, doom. It sounds really cool. But then also here, diving into the lyrics, like he's talking about the Bible, right? He's talking about incorporating bits and pieces, primarily I would say Revelations, right? But within the New Testament, talking about Jesus coming, and then also the Passover when he asked a question of like, I believe he said, will you partake at the last offered cup? So talking about the Passover and the Last Supper there as well. Yeah, is my assumption. But then also more within Revelations of the trumpets and the pipers and talking about the angels and multitudes marching. And so he's talking about these things, as well as, where was it? talking about Jesus, and he decides who to be free, who to free and who to blame. Everybody won't be treated all the same. I would think right there he's talking about ultimately eternity. We have a choice, and then what our choice is on who we follow or choose to follow will ultimately decide the fate of eternity. And I believe there he's saying, describing heaven and how that's ultimate perfection, right? But then also describing hell and how that's ultimately separation from God and just eternity of pain and sorrow and treachery. So I think he's talking about there where everybody won't be treated all the same. I think he's talking about after that within eternity. So really cool. I'm gonna go back like 5 seconds.
It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Till Armageddon, no shalom, no shalom. Then the father hen will call his chick.
Shalom. I believe that means peace. Yeah, shalom is peace. And is it Hebrew? So he's saying Armageddon, like war and terror and all that, fighting, and no shalom, no peace, no peace.
No shalom. Then the father hen will call his chickens home. The wise men will bow down before the throne, and at his feet they'll cast their golden crowns when the man comes around.
Right there, that bass club.
Whoever is unjust, let him be unjust still. Whoever is righteous, let him be righteous still. Whoever is filthy, let him be filthy still. Listen to the words long written down when the man comes around. Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers, 100 million angels singing. Multitudes are marching to the big kettle drum. Voices calling, voices crying. Some are born and some are dying. It's Alpha and Omega's kingdom come. And the whirlwind is in the thorn tree. The virgins are all trimming their wicks. The whirlwind is in the thorn tree. It's hard for thee to kick against the pricks. In measured 100-weight and penny pound when the man comes around. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him.
Very cool. So several thoughts here. I'm going to try to piece it together where it makes sense on this song. But I thought it was interesting towards the end of the stanza where he says the lines, "Whoever is unjust, let him be unjust still. Whoever is righteous, let him be righteous still. Whoever is filthy, let him be filthy still. Listen to the words long written down when the man comes around." I think there what he's talking about is literally, you could say, come as you are, right? And because he talked about earlier where, those who are wise falling down and bowing, putting essentially themselves and what they're pursuing by lowering their crowns and bowing down to the throne, putting whatever their pursuits are in life aside to bow down to the throne. And so I think what he's saying there literally is like, come as you are, right? Referring to in Romans chapter 3, where saying like all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, and ultimately that the penalty or wage of that sin is death, not just spiritual or physical, but because we're all going to die, but spiritual as well, where he referenced earlier of how the difference of people being treated, talking about heaven and hell, but then also all throughout the song kind of referring that Jesus came to live the perfect life, the life that we couldn't live, as an ultimate sacrifice, so that, where he referenced later in the song, then the Father will call his chickens home. So by choosing the Passover cup and having the Passover, the Last Supper with Jesus, ultimately trusting in him, later on in the song, tying it back in, then the Father will call his chickens home. So I think it was really cool how he kind of intertwined everything going on there. Let's see here. What were some other thoughts? Oh, but then also, it's really interesting. I could be off. Let me know in the comment section down below if I'm off there. But I believe that's what Johnny Cash is really talking about there. But what I was going to say is I think it's interesting with the name of the song, where it's called Man Comes Around, right? I'm curious if he's, one, potentially talking about his own life and maybe how he came to Christ or came to know Christ, or if he's just talking about in general how humans sometimes come around. And is he asking the question like, are you gonna come around? So I'm curious. I don't have a full thought there on the name of the song, but help me out with that and let me know. One, was I far off on the song, or was I pretty spot on? Is that what Johnny Cash is referring to here? But then also help me out with kind of tying the complete package, the picture, painting the picture with the whole title of Man Comes Around as well. But that was a really cool song, just from lyrics, instrumentation, message, just all the different dynamics within the song. Really like that one. So let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video in the future. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.